Okay, I believe this is live. What's up? I just want to confirm that the audio is working here. So give me one moment, please. Let me confirm this is working. I will also sit here for a second to allow this live stream to populate, and so people can hop on and join this live. I have a lot of things I want to share. Yep, looks okay. Perfect. Audio is good. Let's close that. Can I see live chat on here? It's weird listening to myself and watching this here. How do I open the live chat? Oh, here we go. Live chat. There we go. Perfect. I can see my live chat. Awesome. Let me close that window behind me. Oh, boy. Okay. Perfect. And I might even keep it open on my phone as well, because it's easier for me to see the chat on my phone here. I think. Let me just see if it's easier. I think it is. Yeah, I think it is easier. I'm going to keep this live chat open on my phone. So there we go. What's up, Nuance? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so let's kick this language Azren's journal. By the way, check out my new toy. You know what this is? This is a super cool thing. So watch this. But with the push of a button, with the push of a button, it clears, right? And then watch this. My name is Azren. And then you can write on it. It's like a little tablet, but no internet, no nothing. It's just like the writing function. So anyway, let's dive right in here. Welcome to episode number 12 now of Azren's Journal. If you're new to this, then I'll explain what it's all about. This is basically a segment on my YouTube channel where I talk a lot about my personal language learning efforts and my personal language learning journey, and give you a whole bunch of language learning tips. So the first thing I want to kick things off on is a personal note. Somebody stole my laptop along with a bunch of other things on Saturday, which is like, super frustrating. I was hosting a conversation event for language learners in my city, and someone near the end of the event, I saw on the footage later, came and took my backpack. They just took it and they left. It had my laptop, it had my SD cards, so I actually cannot shoot videos with my camera anymore because I don't have any memory cards. So this is why we're doing this video this way, so I can still put something out for you. So memory cards are gone, laptop is gone, backpack is gone, my entire language notebook is gone. So all of my Gujarati, in all these videos we've been talking about the vocabulary updates and how things are going. All of that information is now stolen, it's gone. I don't have it anymore. So I'll have to get a new notebook. Hopefully I remembered everything that I wrote. So that has been stolen. There is my Itchy Feet card game has been stolen. There's a lot, teaching supplies, my whiteboard, a lot of things are stolen. The bright side is that over the weekend, I helped the owner of the coffee shop where I was sitting in, I helped him review the security footage so he can see where I was sitting. I can show him which backpack was mine. I can show a lot of that. And so we were able to actually see the person who took my stuff, which is a big positive, I think. And yeah, it's just a big positive. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, with any luck, the police will be able to find whoever the person is with this footage, and they'll be able to get my stuff back. So for the next little while, I guess a channel update for you guys. Oh, hang on, Nuance. I see your message here. There we go. Perfect. So a channel update for you guys is that I'm not going to be buying any new memory cards for a little while, just in case I get my stuff back, because the memory cards for my camera, I mean, they're expensive. They're like $50, $40, $60, like it's real money. And I have to buy another laptop. So basically, I'm not going to buy any new memory cards, and I'm not going to buy a new laptop for a little while, which basically means I have no means to actually be editing videos or making videos with my camera, my typical camera. So for the next little while, the videos you see from me are going to be probably more live streams like this, and perhaps maybe like videos that I shoot from my phone. And it's just gonna have to be like that for the next little while. If I don't get my stuff back, I'm gonna have to buy a new laptop, get new stuff. In which case, you will start to see more of the usual videos that you would on my channel. So that's kind of the main updates that I have. The main updates that I have right now. Thank you for the kind comments there. Looks like Emmy's a little bit confused. She has some question marks and a ha! Or no, ha, because there's 3 A's. But anyway, let's jump into some language learning stuff, and let's help you guys out with your language learning challenges. So 2 things here, or 1 thing rather. If you have any specific language learning things or questions you would like me to speak about or talk about, please write them in the chat, and I'll make sure I read them and answer them. And with that aside, let me jump into some things that are on my mind about language learning. The first thing is something I just made a podcast about 10 minutes ago. It's all about habits. It's interesting to me, right, that sometimes you can have a certain level in a language, but with certain people, you do not actually speak as well as you are able to speak. This happens to me. When I speak to people in my family in Gujarati, I find that my Gujarati level is significantly lower than when I speak to my teacher, or I speak to someone I met in India, or I speak to someone else. And I think it's because I have a habit throughout my whole life of speaking a certain way with my family. And so even though my language level is now higher, I continue to speak in the same low level that I used to, or that I'm used to doing throughout my whole life. And it's an interesting thing, right? I think we have to think about that. I've experienced this in French. I've experienced this in Spanish. I am now experiencing this in Gujarati. Basically, anytime I talk to someone who, when I met, I had a lower level, I find myself speaking at a lower level when I speak or communicate with that individual. I don't know if I'm the only one who experiences this, but I'm willing to bet that other people have as well. That's typically how it works. I don't have any answers as to how to avoid it. The only thing I can say is, hopefully by me talking about this, you can realize that, oh, wait a second, when I speak to this person, my level is lower. But when I speak to that person, I speak more fluently. I wonder why that's happening. Is it because I habitually speak worse with this person and better with this person? Is it because I'm more nervous with that person? That's another factor as well. Sometimes you feel more nervous with some people than with others. And as a result, you speak worse with those people. So these are different things that we have to keep in mind as language learners. So that was definitely one thing that's on my mind in terms of language learning. Transitioning a little bit for language learning, I want to talk a little bit about the connection between, I would say, writing and speaking. Again, this is a podcast topic, but it's so fresh on my mind, and I think I can do a really good job of explaining it for the YouTube people here too. So there are a lot of people who believe that even if you can write well, it doesn't mean that you can speak well. There's many people who believe this. I am actually one of those people. I know a lot of people who can write really well in a language, but speaking and communicating in an oral context is nowhere near as easy for them. However, I will say this. If you were to try and write something, let's take a hypothetical scenario. Let me give you a real life scenario for my life. I was recently writing an email to my Mandarin teacher at the University of Calgary. I was writing an email to her. In this email, I was trying to give a detailed description of who I am. I wanted to tell her about me. I wanted to tell her that I'm working full-time, I teach languages, I'm running the whole language nerd community. I wanted to talk about my hobbies and what languages I speak and blah, blah, blah. I had a whole list of things that I wanted to talk about. And I wanted to do it in an intelligent way. I didn't want to do it in a way where I was like, my name's Azren. I am Canadian. I like languages. I speak French. I also speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of Chinese. I teach, like that's so repetitive. It sounds like a 7-year-old. And that's not at all what I wanted to do. I wanted to write a more intelligent sounding email. As I'm writing this, I'm struggling. I'm having to really think about it, really like look at the dictionary sometimes. And eventually I was able to kind of get this email together. And it occurred to me after that if I had to speak about that topic, I would have had an equal, if not more difficulty than when I was writing it. And that's when I had the epiphany. As a language learner, if you are not able to write something with ease, speaking about that with ease is likely going to be very difficult as well. That's just reality. And so, for a lot of you, what's worth trying and what's worth actually doing is first being able to get yourself, hello Emmy, greetings from Poland, is first being able to actually write about something with fluency. Can you do it with ease? Do you have the vocabulary? Are you able to do it? Are you able to do it without looking in dictionaries, without using translators? Can you do that first, and then trying to transition that into the speaking side? That's not going to work for everyone, but I do think it's going to work for a lot of you, a lot of the people watching this video here. Let me just check the live chat here, make sure nothing's really going on that I need to respond to. By the way, I would appreciate some likes on the video here. If you've liked the stuff I've been saying, please hit the like button. I would appreciate that tremendously. If you found this video useful so far. Now, let's talk about some more language learning stuff. This one is more on the topic of language exchanges. So a lot of people try to learn languages using language exchanges. For those of you who don't know, a language exchange is where you help someone learn your mother tongue. There's the camera. It's weird, by the way. The camera is in the bottom, like, right side, but the screen's, like, in my middle, so it's, like, weird to look here. Anyway, so a language exchange is where you help someone to learn your first language, and they help you to learn their language. That is a language exchange. Now, there's a lot of websites where you can do language exchanges, such as italki.com, italki.com. There's also an application called Hello Talk, which is really, really useful, and you can use these kinds of websites and apps. But the biggest challenge people come up with is, what the heck do you actually talk about? What do you talk about in these language exchanges, and how do you use them best to actually be getting practice and be improving your language abilities? What I would highly recommend is you go into is a couple things. First of all, if you have an intermediate level or above, go into Google and search in topics for language exchanges. You're going to find plenty of websites that give you questions and topics for you to talk about, and that will help you keep going for an extended period of time and have a language exchange that works really well. I think another piece of advice for language exchanges is to have very specific outcomes. You have to know going in what questions you have, what you want to ask, what you want to get out of that language exchange. Otherwise, it just turns into a very awkward conversation of you trying to speak, and you're not going to be able to maximize your time with that native speaker. So that is something I would highly recommend as well. Know what you want to get out of the language exchange. I would also understand that your language exchanges are going to have a certain level of give and take. There are going to be times where you are practicing your language more than the other person practicing theirs, and vice versa. Go with the ebb and flow of it sometimes, but just make sure you are telling your language exchange partner very clearly, hey, we've been practicing my language, my mother tongue, a little bit more than usual lately. Could we spend a little bit more time with whatever language you're trying to learn, your target language? A good way to go is to have very set rules as of day one, to say, hey, can we do 30 minutes in my language, 30 minutes in yours every time we talk? That is a big thing as well. I would recommend with language exchanges that you find different people to talk to, often because you will get along and you will like some people more than you like other people. And some people are going to be more reliable than other people as well. So make sure that you are talking with different people until you find some language exchange partners that you like and that you get along with. That's going to be a big one that helps you as well. The last thing I will say with language exchanges here is understand that you probably, most likely, it's if you are a beginner, you like, actually, yeah, if you are a beginner, you want to find someone, okay, I think this is true. Yes, this is true. If you are a pure beginner, it's going to be worth your time to find someone who's more advanced in the language you're trying to learn. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. If you, let's say you're a beginner in French and your mother tongue is English, it makes sense to find someone who has intermediate or advanced English to help you with French. If you find a French speaker who has beginner English, they're not going to be able to help you very much. There's a concept that people have that, oh, I want to find someone who doesn't really speak English because then I'll be forced to learn. Well, if you are a pure beginner in the language, that is just not very true. However, if you're more advanced in the language, if you're like upper intermediate or something, you're definitely going to want to find someone who has a low level in your mother tongue, because then they're not going to even be able to do a lot of conversation, and they're going to want to use their language with you because they don't have the level in your mother tongue to actually speak to you. Does that make sense? So there's a couple things on language exchanges that I hope help you guys out. Another thing we can talk about here is the motivation side. A lot of people wonder on how to find more motivation and keep themselves accountable to their studies. I was actually interviewed on Instagram Live yesterday where I gave a very succinct answer that I wanted to share with you. You have to surround yourself with other language learners and other language people and other people who are into or interested in language learning. You can do that locally where you live. You can use websites such as meetup.com, meetup.com. You can search on those websites, and often on this website you will find language groups in your city, often. So that is a good way you can find people locally. However, if you do not live in a city where that is really existent and there's not a lot of language learning communities like that, you've got to do it digitally. Follow different Instagram accounts that talk about language learning. Follow different Facebook and Snapchat accounts and all sorts of different language learning content. And you have to surround yourself with that content. Your environment has to become saturated with language learning content for that motivation side to really kick in. It's very difficult to have motivation to study languages if you're not seeing language learning content everywhere around you. So anyway, that's kind of our video for today, I believe. Again, if you have not liked the video, I would highly appreciate that you do. Please bear with me over the next little while with these videos, seeing as, like I said before, I don't have my laptop, I don't have any memory cards, so this is kind of how I'll need to do videos moving forward. I have no means to edit, I can't throw any text on the screen, so please be patient with me. I hope these videos are still useful. Let's just write a final little message on here. I'm going to write something, and that's how we'll finish it up. The suspense is building. Everyone's wondering, what is he writing? Here we go. Have an awesome day from, of course, at Polyglot Azren. That is me. So, alright guys, see you later. Thanks again. We'll chat later. How do I end this? I've never done this on an iPad before. Ooh, how do I end this stream here? I think it's this button. There we go. Okay, see you.